Okay, so let's dive in. We're unpacking some really compelling source material today. It digs into what it actually means, like really means, to become your own safe space.
hmm
And I think this material speaks so directly to anyone listening who's maybe felt, broken or not enough, or just like they're too far gone sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. And our aim with this deep dive really is to get past the usual surface stuff you hear about self-love, self-healing, self-growth. These sources, they really pull you into the deeper work, the stuff that often goes unseen.
Exactly. The material you brought highlights, well, it feels like three core themes that kind of weave together what self love looks like when it's really hard,
Right.
the surprising, sometimes hidden nature of healing, and then this idea of the quiet work involved in real growth.
Yeah.
And it starts right off by challenging a big one, doesn't it? That common idea, maybe the Instagram version of self love.
Oh, absolutely. It says it point blank, self-love isn't pretty at first.
Yeah. Yeah.
That line just, it stops you.
Yeah.
Because it's such a contrast to the bubble baths and the face masks we often associate with it.
Totally. The source material doesn't shy away from the difficult stuff, the unglamorous bits. It makes it really clear it's not just about candles or nice music.
No, not at all. It gives these incredibly raw examples. Like,
Mhm.
it says, it's crying on your bedroom floor and still choosing not to text the person who broke you. That specific choice.
Oof, yeah. Or even just the act of deleting a number, which sounds simple but can feel huge.
It really can.
Yeah.
And also consciously sitting in your pain instead of trying to escape it.
Yeah.
Actively choosing that.
So what is it about those actions, do you think? Why does the source material frame them as being so fundamental to, choosing yourself when it's toughest?
Well, I think it's about where you're directing your need for comfort for validation.
Hmm.
Instead of looking outward, especially maybe towards the person or situation that caused the hurt. These actions are like these internal declarations. The source actually points to standing in front of the mirror, right in that difficult moment, and saying, I deserve better, and I'm going to give that to myself. It completely redirects the power, the care back to you.
That statement, just saying that when you feel absolutely awful, that's incredibly powerful, isn't it? It shows why these hard internal actions are so foundational. They represent that conscious choice, choosing your own well-being exactly when it feels hardest, when everything pulls you the other way.
Yeah,
It's not about feeling good immediately. It's about making a really tough decision for your future self.
exactly. And if that's the foundation of self-love, choosing the hard action over the easy, maybe destructive comfort, then what does the repair process look like? The healing.
Yeah, where does it go from there?
The source material moves into healing, and again, it offers a perspective that might surprise some people. It clearly states healing isn't always progress you can see.
That feels important. Such a counterpoint to that pressure we all feel sometimes, to bounce back quickly, show everyone you're doing great, have that linear upward curve after something difficult.
Right, that whole bounce back culture.
So, if it's not always visible progress, what does healing look like according to these sources?
Well, it gives these quiet examples, almost subtle. Sometimes healing is just stillness.
Stillness. Okay.
Yeah. Or maybe it's choosing to go to sleep instead of letting your thoughts race for hours.
I can relate to that one.
Right. Or maybe it's leaving a party early because your energy, your sort of inner battery just isn't there. And you actually honor that feeling instead of pushing through.
So it's less about checking boxes on some external recovery list
Exactly.
and more about listening internally, about self-preservation, alignment.
Precisely. The sources offer this beautiful alternative view. Healing is like peeling back the layers of who the world told you to be to return to who you truly are.
Oh, I like that.
It's more of an uncovering, an excavation, rather than, building something totally new from scratch on top of the old stuff.
That really reframes wholeness, doesn't it?
It does.
It suggests wholeness isn't about reaching some perfect state free from all the difficult feelings. It's more about integrating everything, being real, acknowledging the anger, the sadness, the grief.
Yes, and giving yourself permission for all of it. The source emphasizes that all those feelings are valid, they belong. It's part of being a whole human.
It shifts the goal from erasing parts of yourself to actually reclaiming them.
Okay, so if self-love involves these hard choices and healing is this often invisible process of peeling back layers, what's the result? What does the growth part look like? The sources talk about this third theme, the quiet work of real growth.
Right. And this is explicitly not the kind of growth we might see plastered online, not that surface level glow up that gets all the likes.
No, no.
The material talks about real growth, the one no one sees. So what is that kind of growth?
It's the internal shifts,
Yeah.
the deep stuff. The material gives these, again, really powerful, relatable examples, like finally being able to say no to something and not feeling completely crushed by guilt afterwards.
Mm-hmm. That's a big one.
Huge. Or when you consciously start choosing peace, choosing your own inner calm over constantly needing attention or validation from others. Or maybe it's just being able to sit quietly with yourself, just be with yourself and not feel that horrible sense of emptiness anymore, that feeling that something's missing.
Wow. Yeah, that hits hard because that kind of growth is entirely internal, isn't it?
Completely.
And the sources really drive home this point. This real growth doesn't come from waiting around for other people to notice you're worthy or to give you applause.
No waiting involved.
It comes entirely from recognizing it yourself, inside, without needing any external proof. It's like self-generated worth.
Beautifully put. Self-generated worth. And when we kind of pull all these threads together, the tough self-love, the hidden healing, this quiet growth, the sources build up to this incredibly powerful message of self-sufficiency.
Yeah.
They speak directly to you, the listener, offering this really profound reminder. You are not too much. You are not too sensitive. You are not too anything. You are just enough, just as you are.
That's a message a lot of people need to hear, I think.
Absolutely. And they also offer this perspective on external judgment that feels so liberating.
Yeah.
It suggests that anyone who made you feel otherwise, who made you feel like you were too much or not enough, was likely speaking from their own unhealed wounds.
Oh, that shifts things, doesn't it? It takes the burden off your shoulders. The perceived flaw isn't yours anymore.
Yeah.
It reframes it as being about the other person's stuff.
Exactly. It's not about you. And for that version of you, the listener, who just feels tired of carrying it all, the sources offer this simple, really potent instruction. Breathe.
Breathe.
Yeah. And right after that breath, there's an action. Let go of the need to be everything for everyone. Be something for yourself. Prioritize you.
And this is where the source material uses some metaphors that I found just incredibly striking to really illustrate this idea of becoming your own source, your own safe space.
Yeah, they're powerful.
It says, be the home you've been seeking to find in others. Be the love letter you never received. Be the apology you deserved, all for yourself.
Wow. Reading that, it really lands, doesn't it? Because it speaks to those deep needs, those yearnings we often look outside ourselves to fill.
It really does. And importantly, the sources don't sugarcoat this. They acknowledge this path, this internal work. It's not easy.
Not at all. They validate the feelings that might come up for you listening to this.
Yeah.
Healing can feel lonely sometimes. Growth can feel like you're being stretched in ways you don't quite understand yet.
There's a promise, right, on the other side of doing this difficult, often unseen internal work.
Yes, there is. The promise highlighted in the material is freedom.
Freedom. What kind of freedom?
Well, freedom from that constant, draining need for external validation, for one.
That sounds good.
Freedom from the weight of old pain that you might have been carrying for years. And ultimately, the source suggests it's the freedom to just be, to be authentically you, without feeling like you need to apologize for it or explain yourself constantly.
That sounds like the ultimate safe space, really.
I think so.
So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive, the sources leave you listening with a really direct question to mull over this week.
What is it?
The question is, what does love look like when I give it to me?
That's a powerful reflection point.
Yeah. And the sources offer a few ideas, drawing on everything we've talked about for what that might look like in practice. Maybe for you, it looks like finally letting yourself rest without feeling guilty about it.
Or maybe it looks like setting a really hard boundary, one you've been avoiding,
Right.
even if you know it might disappoint someone else.
Yeah. Or maybe it just looks like letting go of that exhausting performance, that need to constantly prove your worth, because deep down, you're starting to know it yourself.
Whatever it is for you.
Right. Whatever that looks like for you, the final call to action from the source material is simple, but it's profound and it can be challenging. It's keep choosing yourself.
Keep choosing yourself.
Even when it's hard, even when no one else sees it, even when it's just that quiet internal work of sitting with yourself and offering kindness.
So, reflecting on this whole dive into the source material, it's clear that becoming your own safe space isn't some, fluffy idea or about reaching a state where everything's perfect and easy.
Not at all. It's really about embracing the difficult parts, isn't it? The unseen work, the often messy reality of self-love, of healing, of real growth.
It really is. It's about finding that quiet power in internal validation.
Yeah.
Making that conscious choice again and again to
Yeah.
prioritize your own well-being, your own truth, even when it feels like swimming upstream or when absolutely no one else acknowledges the huge effort you're putting in internally.
Yeah. It's that unseen effort that counts the most, maybe.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
So, given everything we've explored from these sources, that wholeness is about being real, not perfect, and that the most meaningful growth happens from within, often without any fanfare. Here's a final thought for you to take away.
Okay.
What is one small, real act you can choose for yourself today? Something that embodies this idea of choosing you, of being your own safe space, even if nobody else ever knows you did it. What's that one small thing?